We met initially to see how we could actually put together a collaboration. The collaboration would involve the dance, it would involve visual art, and when I looked at the visual art part of it, that's what I would be responsible for. I looked at it as in reference to how my work would relate to the piece itself. And my initial involvement was make sure that I know the music, and so I played the music over and over during the summertime as I started to develop my works. And the works that I was using, I've been dealing with in a thematic way. I've been using birds, and they're more or less universal type birds. And the birds that I use them because I'm interested in their patterns and their rhythms, etc. So I had a studio downtown, and I would go up to Tar Beach, up on the roof. And on Tar Beach, I'd have my lunch, and I'd bring parts of my lunch would go to birds, and all of a sudden more and more birds were coming around. I never used birds as imagery, but it's like, gee, then you start to have an interest in them, and so the interest goes into studies. When you're looking at something artistic, you're not looking at it necessarily as, oh, here's a full-blown idea. You start to study things. So I was studying things. I was studying birds, and when you're studying birds, you're doing drawings of them, you're doing paintings of them, you're doing small little things, and then it sort of grows from that. It grows into just more and more stuff that you do with them. I also like, when I'm working with art, I like things to be changed, so that change is involved so that they can actually be modified or rearranged. So I'll use devices. I'll use things like Velcro in my work because I can stick something on it and then replace it. When I'm doing the birds with these sort of situations, because I'm using PVC pipe and I'm using the rods or string or anything, I can use clothespins. So if I use clothespins, which is just a ubiquitous sort of item, but if I have my birds, I can constantly rearrange them, put them into different patterns, etc. When I'm dealing with the flying birds, it's the same sort of thing. They can either be push pin to the wall, or using that gummy sort of tape, they can be placed in all sorts of variations. I like a life-size scale of things. When I'm doing these, it's like, it's life-size. Although for this, for this performance, if we end up using them, we have some giant birds that are made in a certain way. And hopefully they can be used as a kabuki type experience. If it's three people collaborating and it's a very loose collaboration, it's like three separate things and you want this to go together, but I just thought of these as they're artworks, and the artworks are used in this, and the dance is used in this. It's really unique and it's scary. I've never done anything like this. You're involved with people who are working in disciplines that I really respect, and it's like you shy away from, you don't want to intrude on them in any sort of way. I guess that's the main sort of thing. I think, if it works out, I think it could be, this could be something that I'd look into before. I think once before I had an exhibit in Arlington, Virginia, where they actually had a dance ensemble come in and performed around the piece. It was a fairly large installation. But this has more to do with actually working with the people more so as far as how they can actually use the things. I looked at it as, these guys are, Albert and Mark are really professionals. And for me, I'm looking at this as I'm a novice, and it's scary as anything. It's like, gee, this is a lot to be done here. This is, it was frightening in a way. But once you're doing your own work, etc., it relaxes the situation, and they were always there, really reassuring. So hopefully everything will really work out. To the best of my knowledge, this will be a first for us for doing this. So I'd really appreciate it if they would come. It's difficult to get, faculty are always all busy. Hopefully we'll have a lot of students who would be interested enough to come to the performance.